Okay, good day everyone. So we will now be shifting our topic to estate and owner's taxation. So if we are going to look into the National Internal Revenue Code, among the sources of the government in raising revenue are estate tax and owner's tax. Actually, dali ra kay ni siya. When we speak of estate tax, estate, if na mamatay. Therefore, every time that there is a transfer of property by virtue of death, meaning, by mortis causa, then there is estate tax. Simba ko, namatay ang ato ang ginikanan, matransfer man na ang property diri sa atoa. Since there is transfer of property, there should have been also an imposition of estate tax. It is an excise tax. When we speak of excise tax, it is a privilege tax. Meaning to say, since there is a privilege of transferring properties from the decedent to the heirs, meaning na a distribution of wealth, then there is therefore an imposition of estate tax. Tax by virtue of death or tax by virtue of mortis causa. The cause of the transfer, the cause of the imposition of tax is death, mortis. And then when we speak of donor's tax, klaro kayo from its word, donors, meaning to say, a tax imposed against the donor and kano sa man ay donor when there is transfer of property out of donation. Donation, moingon tag donation, it should have been made during the lifetime. So when we speak of donor's tax, there is a transfer of property out of love and liberality during the lifetime. This is a donation inter vivos during the lifetime. Since there is a distribution of wealth, that since there is a distribution of property, mo impose na puta og another privilege tax, mo impose na sadta og another excise tax, and that excise tax, that privilege tax is called donor's tax. It is imposed upon the donor for transferring this property out of love and liberality during the lifetime versus vis-a-vis estate tax which is transferred by virtue of death. Mo na siya si donation mortis causa. So to summarize, if there is death, then there is estate tax. If there is transfer of property during the lifetime out of love and liberality, then there is donor's tax. Lahi ni si estate, lahi si donor's tax, ngadto sa atong gidiscuss earlier, nga capital gains tax. Kay hinumdom mo sa atong capital gains tax, 6% based on the zonal value or tax declaration value or selling price, whichever is higher. Kato siya, there is a transfer of property tungod kay gibaligya. There was actually a sale of property. Therefore, nahalinan man ka, there should have been an imposition of final tax, tawag na to nga capital gains tax. Kaniwa may halin. The transfer is by virtue of that. Then that is estate tax. There is a donor's tax, there is a transfer, no consideration, walay amount, dili in peso, dili in thousands or etc. But by virtue of love and liberality, therefore, there is an imposition of donor's tax. Klaro? But before we proceed with donor's tax, ari sa ta sa estate tax. Unsa man ang atong gi-anticipate ani nga discussion sa estate tax? Una, basic principles of estate tax under the National Internal Revenue Code as amended by Train Law. Nganong kailangan nato hatagag emphasis si Train Law? Because prior to Train Law, a little bit complicated ang atong computation sa estate tax. Scheduler siya. First 500,000 walay bayranan, 500,000 to this amount na ay bayranan, this amount to another amount na atay bayranan. So very complicated siya. Starting Train Law, wala na, across the board. If ang imong taxable estate kay kana, automatically 6%. Kailangan lang nato i-identify unsa man nga law ang applicable. Meaning to say, kanus aman namatay ang atuang decedent. If namatay siya prior to the implementation and effectivity of the Train Law, we apply the National Internal Revenue Code as of 1997. But if ang atuang client, if ang decedent namatay after the imposition, after the effectivity of Train Law, then mag-apply na po to si 6%. So mo nang kailangan na i-discrepancy. Nganong kailangan na to i-differentiate si estate tax under the National Internal Revenue Code katong mother tax code na to vis-a-vis estate tax after trade law. Nausab man, na-amend man na siya. And then, definition of gross estate. If you already have your succession, kay bao na ta, unsa ang definition sa gross estate. Ato na siya i-discuss later on. And then, exemptions of gross estate. Meaning to say, not all properties you owned at the time of your death is subject to estate tax. Tanaw na to, was there actual ownership? Or is there only rights to which that ownership is to be transferred to another person? Pero balik ta sa general rule, all properties at the time of death, as long as there is ownership ha, rights and ownership, tanaw na nato, it belongs to your gross estate. Natay mga exemptions pa na niya if dili siya under the ownership of the decedent. When and where to file? So, briefly, discuss lang na to, National Internal Revenue Code sa una ha, brief period ra ang ato ang pag-process sa estate, 6 months. But during the trade law, we have 1 year to process the estate tax. We have 1 year to settle the estate of the decedent. Pero again, tanaw na to, kanus ama namatay. If namatay 2005, we apply the National Internal Revenue Code. If namatay after trade law, meaning after namatay January 1, 2018 and onwards, okay, gamito na to si trade law. So January 1 onwards, January 1, 2018 onwards, we apply trade law. And then administrative compliance. So, unsa man ang mga attachments kailangan, importante na siya when you process your client's estate, the moment that you become lawyer. So, arita sa basic principles, unsa man day ni ang estate tax, which I have already discussed. Ato lang basahon. It is imposed on the right of the deceased person to transmit his or her properties to his or her lawful heirs and beneficiaries at that time of death. Meaning to say, it is not a tax on the property, but a tax on the right to transmit his or her properties to his or her lawful heirs. Meaning to say, privileged man ka to transfer the properties from the decedent to the heirs. Subject ka to excise tax, subject ka to privilege tax. It is not a tax on the property, but a tax on your privilege to distribute your wealth from the decedent to the heirs. Therefore, there is estate tax. Kung balikon, it is not imposed on the property, but on the right itself to transfer the property. Klaro? Please, importante na siya ha. Na siya sa mga true or false, na siya sa mga explain why excise tax is considered a privilege tax or an excise tax. Mana siya because it is not imposed on the property but on your privilege. Hinumduman na to, when we speak of excise tax, it is otherwise known as privilege tax. Hinumdum mo, palit mo mga soft drinks, palit mo mga sugary drinks, di ba natay excise tax? Because naman sila privilege good to manufacture, distribute, and sell this particular sugary drinks. So, naman sila privilege, imposed ang excise tax. Same sa value-added tax, di ba? Since you have the privilege of doing business, okay, imposed ang value-added tax, which is an excise or privilege tax. In this case, atong gidiscuss karon, since there is man a privilege, since there is man a right to transmit these properties, okay, there is distribution of wealth, okay, subject na nato siya to excise tax, privilege tax, particularly estate tax. It is not a tax on the property, but a tax on your privilege to distribute wealth. So, theories behind the imposition of estate tax. Benefit received theory, na kay nadawat. Subject to tax. Redistribution of wealth theory. May na-distribute nga property, di ba? Distribution of wealth, akong gibalik-balik earlier. So, subject siya to estate tax. Ability to pay. If there is property nga na-transfer, registrable property, murag kabayad sa siguro ni siya, makuha lang tag certain percentage of the total value of the property nga na-transfer. And then, state partnership theory, in essence daw, kato ganing, aside sa lifeblood, katong symbiotic relationship between the state and of the population. So, i-transfer na to ang ownership sa imuha, then i-protect sa state ang imuhang ownership. So, state partnership theory. Pero of all this theory, ang very reason why there is an imposition of estate tax, why there is an imposition of an excise tax, it is because of the redistribution of wealth theory. na-distribute man ang property, kuan man na siya. It could be a source of income whatsoever. Pwede ka mag-business diha, pwede na nimo paabangan, etc. etc. Pwede gani nga before na siya na-transfer, gigamit po na siya nga paabangan, di mo nagpuyo, etc. etc. So na-distribute man ang wealth. And then si government, di man gyud na siya magpaalkansi. Under the lifeblood theory, unsa may gamito nato to operate as a government, as a one whole government. So arita, impose now tax. But this is, again, this is not a tax on your property, but a tax on your right to distribute your property. Okay? Gross estate. How do we define gross estate? But before that, tanawon sa nato, we need to qualify. Unsa gini atong gross estate? It could be real or personal, tangible or intangible, owned by a decedent at the time of his death. Real or personal, yuta. That is a real property. Personal, sakyanan, bank deposits, shares of stocks. That is your personal property. Tangible or intangible, shares of stocks. Intangible man na siya. Sakyanan, tangible man na. Yuta, condominium, tangible man na siya. But what is very important, aniha, for us to determine gross estate is the word owned by a decedent at the time of his death. Owned. Dili enough nga na kay right over that property. What is sufficient for us to include this to our gross estate is that that property is owned by a decedent. Unsa may legal basis na to? If makahinumdum mo sa atong succession, Article 774. Unsa kay definition sa succession? Succession is a mode of acquisition by virtue of which the property rights and obligation to the extent of the value of the property of a person are transmitted through his death to another or others either by will or by operation of law. So nato, Article 774 gisulti na all the properties, all the rights, all the obligations appeal daw. So if not a gross estate, then ato na siyang gi-subject to mortgage, o i-deduct na to atong obligation. Basta tanan, owned by a decedent, existing at the time of his death. That is under Article 774. And then if atong tanawon, Article 781, unsa ginaangat to, the inheritance of a person includes not only the property and transmissible rights and obligation existing at the time of his death, but also those which have accrued thereto. So if nakay dawatunon, nakay receivable na inangutang nimo, wa man kay actual cash ana, kay bayaran pa man, receivable pa man nimo, pero namatay ka before nahimo siyang due and demandable, ni-accrue mo na siya. Mo-form part gihapon na siya sa atong gross estate. So if atong tanawon, i-relate na to si taxation o si new civil code, particularly under the provision of succession, si gross estate refers to all properties. It refers to all rights. It refers to all obligations owned by the decedent at the time of his death, existing at the time of his death, which are not extinguished at the time of his death. Meaning to say, if namatay ka, April 30, 2026, tanan nga imong panag-iya, everything that you owned as of April 30, 2026, mo form part siya sa tong gross estate. It could either be real or personal, tangible or intangible, utang ba na siya o receivable, tanan, gross estate na nato siya. And if makarecall mo, category within, without, if resident resident Filipino citizen, within, without, mo apply po na siya sa tuang gross estate. If ang namatay daw, if ang decedent daw is a citizen and a resident, all properties within and without. Meaning, if nasa property sa Los Angeles and he is a resident Filipino citizen, appeal to. Dili ra ang iyang condominium sa Mandani Bay. Dili ra ang iyang property sa Maria Luisa. Dili ra ang iyang 7-Eleven nga franchise. Appeal to ang property even outside of the Philippines. Even without the jurisdiction of the Philippines. Basta you are a resident and you are a citizen, all properties within and without shall form part of your gross estate. Unsa gito tong gross estate? Properties, rights, and obligation existing at the time of death. And then, if non-resident, kasagaran ana, non-resident ha, non-resident alien, only properties within the Philippines. So, if you're a citizen of the Philippines, all properties within and without. If you are a resident of the Philippines, regardless ha kung alien ba ka or Filipino citizen, within and without. Klaruhon lang nako. I'll just give emphasis on this. If you are a citizen of the Philippines, all properties within and without. Appeal tong properties nimo sa US. If you are a resident, even if you are an alien, all properties within and without. But if you are a non-resident alien, only properties within the Philippines as a general rule. Again, balikon ako. When we speak of gross estate, it refers to your properties, rights, and obligations you own and is existing at the time of death. Unsaan na to pag-quantify? Tanawon sa na to. If you are a citizen of the Philippines, properties within and without. If you are a resident of the Philippines, regardless, if you are an alien or what, within and without. But for non-resident alien, only properties within the Philippines. Klaro? Klaro. How do we value then our gross estate? Nakahinomdom makamo sa atong zonal valuation. Nakahinomdom makamo sa atong fair market value per tax declaration. Mao pod gihapon good atong gamiton, whichever is higher. Nawagtang lang. We get rid of the selling price because the transfer of the property was not by virtue of sale, but by virtue of donation mortis causa. Transfer of property by virtue of death. Since wala may selling price, and then we need to value man, we need to give value man on these properties, ato ang basis is the zonal value as determined by the BIR or the fair market value as determined by the assessor's office, whichever is higher. So for example, house and lot, Maria Luisa subdivision, per assessor, the fair market value of your house and lot at the time of your death is 20 million. But for BIR, ang valuation sa imong property is at 30 million man. So the higher amount should be our valuation for our real properties. Mo na ang atong ibutang sa atoang gross estate. The higher amount between the zonal value as determined by the BIR or the fair market value as determined by the assessor's office. Ang dakong amount should be our value for our gross estate. That's for our real properties. But when we speak of personal properties, it shall be valued at acquisition cost if recently acquired. Na-acquire lang nimo just last month. Okay, ang sakyanan, acquisition cost. Or current market value if previously acquired. So atong buhaton ani. Example, resident na siya sakyanan. Mo-form part man sa ihang gross estate kay properties man. It could be real or personal. So ang buhaton na sa uban, mangayo sila og appraised value. So moadto na sila sa kasa pila may current market value ani among sakyanan at the time of death sa among papa, at the time of death sa among mama. So mangayo na sila appraisal report gikan sa kasa. Okay? Same road sa mga jewelries ug unsay market value ana niya. And then for shares of stocks, if nahuman na ta sa atong corporation, we need to identify if it is a common share or preferred share. Di ba sa atong corporation? If it is silent, equal man na siya. Equal ba na in all rights, benefits, and privileges. Ang tawag na to ana niya, common shares. So ang atong computation ana niya is the book value per share. But if preferred share, par value per share. Pero dili ra sa wala ra tay computation ani as to shares of stocks. Unya na og maabogado na mo and then naamoy client nga ang dissident nato daghan kay shares of stocks. Unya na nato problemahon. Pero in a normal setting, in a regular setting sa BIR, kasagaran real properties ang i-process sa estate. Ngano man? Because real properties are registrable. Meaning to say, naamo na sila yung mga corresponding title, naamo na sila yung mga corresponding tax declaration. Since there is a need to transfer the ownership of the title of this tax declaration, moagto na sila sa BIR. I-process nila ang estate. Then, how do we compute that? Based on the higher amount between the zonal value and the fair market value as determined by the assessor. Pero naatay bagong balaod ron ha. Pero sige lang, wala pa man nahuman ang ato ang mga local assessors sa pag-determine sa market value. Parihas na ta og market value. There is this law na pero wala pa man nahuman og evaluate ang atong mga local assessors. So for the meantime, ari lang sa ta sa zonal value o sa fair market value. Okay? RP Vara to, real property valuation katong ato ang kuan basis. So si BIR o si assessor parehas na. Di na ta mag-determine whichever is higher. Implemented naman to siya nga law, pero wala pa siya nahuman gyud, na-cascade na siya sa atong mga local assessors, wala pa lang nahuman. Naa pa sa mga deliberations nga phase ang ato ang valuation sa mga properties. But for the meantime, ari sa ta, zonal value or fair market value per assessor's office. That's for real properties. So, what shall form part? Again, properties existing at the time of death. So, decedent's interest existing at the time of death. Revocable transfers, transfers in contemplation of death, property passing under the general power of appointment, transfers for insufficient consideration, proceeds of life insurance, claims against an insolvent person, amounts received by heirs under 4917. So, ato ni tagsa-tagsaon, unsa man ni? Decedent's interest existing at the time of death. What is our legal basis again for this one? Succession. Under Article 776, the inheritance includes all the properties, rights, and obligations of a person which are not extinguished by his death. So tanang property nga yang gipanag-iya at the time of his death, which are not extinguished by his death, shall form part of the gross estate of the decedent. Nakaisakyanan at the time of death, mo form part sa gross estate. Nakay condominium at the time of death, mo form part sa atong gross estate. Nakay utang, mo form part gid gihapon na sa atong gross estate, deduction na nato. Imo ang balay, imo na siyang collateral, mo form part na imong balay sa atong gross estate, pero naa mo kay utang, obligation man na, i-deduct na to pila imong obligation. Kaya it would be unfair on the part of the taxpayer man. Ang imong house and lot 5 million, pero imo ba nagi-collateral sa imong negosyo, so i-deduct na to og pila to imong utang kay maningil man pud to ang bangko, di ba? So all properties, rights and obligations of a person which are not extinguished by his death. So we refer the provision of gross estate not in the Internal Revenue Code but in the succession law as provided in the new Civil Code. Kani revocable transfer refers to a transfer of property with retention or reservation of rights over the property by the donor or decedent while he still lives. So, sabi pasabot ani, na ay conditional transfer of property nga anytime daw during his lifetime pwede niya bawion ang property. There is no absolute transfer of ownership. Imo gyud gihapon na kay anytime pwede man dayto nimo mabawi. So wala actual control ngadto sa recipient sa property. Since wala actual control, mo form part gihapon siya sa gross estate sa naghatag. Dili day enough ang ownership, dapat na ay control. So, ang nahitabo, ang nag-transfer, namatay. At the time of his death, naa siya revocable transfer. Example, ang namatay si X. During his lifetime, na siya gitransfer nga property ngadto ni Y. Pero ilang agreement, if dili na nimo ma-comply akong giingon ha, anytime pwede na nako bawion ng property. Although ownership was transferred, pero there is no actual control over the property. Pwede day anytime mabawi ni X. So in essence, the property that has been subject to the revocable transfer shall still form part of the gross estate of the decedent, which in our case is X. Own gihapon to niya because naa may control over the property, mo form part gihapon sa iyang gross estate, property rights and obligation. So if the transfer is subject to amendment, revocation, or alteration at the instance of the donor, meaning siya may magbuot, ang decedent may magbuot during his lifetime, while he still lives, it shall form part of the gross estate. So dapat if mag-transfer tag property, automatic transfer na nato even also including the control over the property. Otherwise, it shall form part of the gross estate. If ma-appeal siya sa gross estate, mudako man ang atong taxable estate. If dako atong taxable estate, dako man pud tagbayranan nga estate tax. Another similar transaction atong revocable transfer. Transfer in contemplation of death. Kana gani ilang giingon, pirma na lang sa wati para mamatay. Sa buhaton, ang mga anak, murag mamatay naman ni padong sa papa. murag padung naman ni mamatay si mama, simbako lang ha, simbako lang. Ato kani pang distribute daan yung mga property. Sige, ato i-distribute. Pero unsa man gyud rason nganong gi-distribute, di ba? As emphasized in the very first few slides, if the transfer is by virtue of death, that is subject to estate tax. If the transfer is by if the transfer during the lifetime inter vivos out of love and liberality, it is subject to donor's tax. So imong tanawon, although na transfer siya during the lifetime, pero unsa may very reason nganong na-transfer siya? Is it by virtue of death? Is it in contemplation of death? Or his love or liberality to his children? So if ato siya tanawon, if it is in contemplation of death, estate tax ang atong i-impose, not donor's tax. So, if maumagani, dapat ang value sa property mo form part siya sa atong gross estate. So, the law does not specify the number of years prior to the decedent's death within which the transfer can be considered in contemplation of death. Tanaw na to na siya, case-to-case basis na siya. Unsa may very intention, unsa may very purpose na to ana, nganong na-transfer ang property. If it is in contemplation of death, if it is by mortis causa, estate tax. Mo form part to ang property nga na-transfer sa gross estate. Okay? Property passing under the general power of appointment. Kana ganing gipahold ra ang property sa imuha and then ipasa niya na hang ato sa lain tao the moment maabot na niya nga edad, the moment ma-fulfill na niya nga obligation. So although temporarily the possession of the property is in your saan man na itulo ka person, si GPA ha, X, A, and B. GPA ha, General Power of Appointment. So, si X, A, and B. Si X, nihatag og property ni A. Si A, giingnan siya ni X. Ikaw may muhataga na to any person, including A, including B, including 1, including 3, including any other person. Ikaw may magbuot. So, in essence, the ownership and control is in you. So, since ang ownership and control is in you, it form parts of your gross estate. Property, rights, and obligation at the time of death. Dili man makabuot si X kung kinsay mong hatagan. Pwede si B, pwede si H, pwede si K, pwede si L, pwede si M, pwede si N. Pwede bisag kinsa. That is general power of appointment. Pero, if special power of appointment, si X nihatag ni A, iyang gi-instructionan gyud si A. Wala kay laing hatagan ana, but only B. Meaning to say, although there is physical possession of the property, but the control is not with A, ang atong decedent. The control is with X. Meaning to say, wa may control. Ownership is not enough, dapat may control. Wa may control. Dili siya mo form part sa gross estate ni A. Klaro? Klaro. So si GPA, pwede bisag kinsa ang hatagan ni A. Any person. Basta kay iyan ang nadawat from X, ownership is already vested in A, and then the control is also vested in A, that shall form part of his gross estate. That is the general power of appointment. Pero when we speak of special power of appointment, although ownership is in you, but the control is not with you, dili siya mo form part sa imong gross estate. Same siya sa revocable transfer. Makuha mong gihapon anytime sa nag-transfer. Iyaha di gihapon tong property. So bantayan na siya. Pero wala kay ko kitag bar exam question aning property passing aning under the general power of appointment. So, wala ni siya. Just so you know. And then transfer for insufficient consideration. So, mura siya transfer in contemplation of death. Instead nga mag-donate during the lifetime, giagi na lang og pagbaligya para kuno valid ang ilang transaksyon. The value of the property, zonal value ha, 5 million. And then gibaligya ra at 1 million. If aton tan-awon, if ato siya i-process through estate tax, 5 million man gyud ang value sa property. Nganong 1 million naman ang pagbaligya. So ang difference shall be included in our computation. The insufficient consideration shall form part of the gross estate because, tanaw na to, the very reason why it was sold earlier was in contemplation of death. For it to appear as a valid transaction, giagi na to og sale of property. Pero, mortis causa man by virtue of that money. So, i-appeal gihapon na nato sa to ang gross estate. Okay? Proceeds of life insurance. Tanaw na to, if it is a return of premium or ang katong kuan na siya, katong interest na after the premium. Pero di ra na mo gawas, era mo kabalaka na. Kani, claims against an insolvent person. Kay nung daw mo, katong gi-discuss about accrual, all properties existing at the time of death and those that have accrued thereto. So, wala may actual cash as of time of death. Pero naa kay receivable from another person, 100,000 yung utang sa imuha. You have a right from that person. Although there is no actual cash yet, pero naa kay receivable. So claims against insolvent person, i-appeal na nato, utangan man na siya nga tao. If nadawat pa lang na nato, before sa tong death, mo-form part mo to siya sa tong gross estate. Then dawatunon pa man, receivable pa man, still, it will form part of our gross estate. Amounts received by heirs under RA 4917 kanang mga retirement benefit packages, appeal na siya. Pero seldom na kay ko kita na in real practice. Exemptions of gross estate. As I have discussed earlier, dili man tanang gross estate ang atong is-subject to estate tax. Natay mga exemptions, natay mga exceptions. Moingon tag exemptions, dili gina siya apilon, di gina siya appeal sa tong gross estate. Moingon tag deductions, i-deduct na to from gross estate. Sa atong klarohon na, as a general rule, there is this gross estate. Legal basis, succession, all property, rights, and obligation existing at the time of death. That is our gross estate. There is also exemptions of gross estate. Unsa man ang wakgay labot, dili gid nato siya i-appeal sa tong gross estate. So ato ni i-discuss, i-enumerate ni nato. Appeal ana katong na-discuss, properties transferred by special power of authority. Katong SPA, General Power of Authority, Special Power of Authority. And then, naabot ay deductions from gross estate. Ngayon tag deductions from gross estate, gi-add na to siya from our gross estate. Example, katong value sa property, house and lot, 5 million. Deductions from it, kay katong utang na to sa bangko nga 3 million. So, gi-appeal na to siya, mo-form part siya sa tong gross estate, but later on, deductions were made. That is deductions from gross estate. Pero kaning si exemptions of gross estate, as in wa gini, di ta maghisgot ani. Because una, that property is not owned by the decedent at the time of his death. Ikaduha, other reason, although there is ownership, there is no control over that property. Number 3, although there is physical possession over the property, still the ownership is not with the decedent. So tanaw na to, ownership and control. If naay ownership and control, that shall form part of the property of the decedent. But if ownership lang gani, walay control, or possession lang gani, walay ownership, possession lang gani, walay control, that is an exemption. Di gina siya appeal sa atoang gross estate. Example ana niya, merger of the usufruct in the owner of the naked title. I don't know if nakadungog na mo ana, pero dapat mo makaibaw ana. For example, property is owned by X. Naay usufruct agreement. Unsa man ang usufruct? Ang ownership is vested in another person, but the possession is vested in another. Ownership of the property is with X. Iyang gi-transfer nga to ni A, ang title. But in their agreement, si B daw ang naay physical possession sa property. Si B daw ang mo benefit sa fruits, sa proceeds sa nga property. So gi-transfer ni X ang ownership ni A, but ang maka-benefit si B. Karon namatay si B. Who owns the property gani? Is it A or B? Si A may tag-iya, but the physical possession is with B. Namatay si B. So na-merge na ang ownership and ang possession. Pero dili dayto mo form part sa gross estate ni B because dili man gito iyaha ang property. by virtue of acquiescence, gipagamit ra siya sa property. Maka-benefit siya sa fruits, maka-benefit siya sa proceeds, but the ownership is not with him. So dili siya mo form part sa gross estate ni B because the ownership of the naked title is with another person. So mo na siya si merger of the usufruct in the owner of the naked title. Nindot kay na siya paminawon. Pero kimo tan-awon binisayon nimo, lain mo nakapanag-iya, but the benefit is vested in another person. Karon namatay naman na siya nga other person. So ma-merge na ang ownership ug ang physical possession. But pagkamatay ni B, it will not form part of his gross estate because the ownership is with another person. The ownership is with A. Same ra po na kaning transmission or delivery of the inheritance by the fiduciary heir to the fiduciary. Murara na siya katang special power of authority, special power of authority, SPA. Parehas lang na siya. Sige. Kani. Properties held in trust by the decedent. Although ownership is with the decedent, pero giingnan man siya. Imo nang ipasa ha ngadto ni A. Kenom daw mo kato atong GPA, try. General power of appointment. Si general power of appointment, ownership is with you, control is with you, ikay magbuot kinsa mong hatagan. Ownership and control naaman tanan, property forming part of your gross estate. Pero if special power of appointment, kani, mura siya gi-held in trust lang for the benefit of another person, it will not form part of your gross estate. That is an exemption of your gross estate. Okay? Sige. Ano, importante po ni. What if, attorney, ang namatay kay Minyo? Nganong kailangan man nato i-identify if that property is an exclusive property or if that property forms part of the community of property. Because if mo form part siya sa community of property, dili day na imuha tanan. Half of it is owned by your spouse. So i-deduct na to ang share of the surviving spouse. For example, ang estate, ang gross estate sa namatay, kay katong house and lot sa Maria Luisa, 5 million. Okay, i-appeal na nato. Gross estate, 5 million. Pero if we are going to look into the title, that property is owned by the wife also because the ownership is spouses man. Yeah, community of property man. I-deduct na to from the gross estate ang share of surviving spouse. So pila may share sa surviving spouse if ang value sa property kay 5 million? Tunga man sila, 2.5. So 5 million minus the share of the surviving spouse, 2.5 na lang ang taxable estate. So mo na siya, nganong kailangan nato samton if that property is an exclusive property of the decedent or if that property forms part of the community of property between the spouses. Kaya if naa na siya sa community of property or if naa siya sa conjugal partnership of gains, naaman tayo share of surviving spouse. So ang tanawon lang na to, exclusive property ba na siya? Kaya if exclusive property, all of it shall form part of the gross estate. But if naakay kahati ana imong spouse, i-deduct na to ang share sa spouse. Mana siya gitawag nga share of surviving spouse. So exclusive property under the obsolete community of property. 1. Property acquired during the marriage through gratuitous title, either by either spouse and the fruits as well as the income thereof. If there are any, unless it is expressly provided by the donor, testator, grantor, that they shall form part of the community of property. So kani siya, exclusive property. Example lang, minyo mo, 2005. Pag 2006, naka-acquire kag property kay namatay po ang imong mama, simba ko lang. Then, di-process ang estate, nabahinan ka og yuta, 1,000 square meter. Value ana, 1 million. Is it an exclusive property of yours? Or shall it form part of the community of property? Based on the enumeration, first enumeration, na-acquire mo na nimo by gratuitous title, wa man na nimo gipalit. It's either gidonate or na-process ang estate, na-acquire na nimo. So it shall form part of your exclusive property. Simba ko 2026 ikaw na pinamatay. Unsaon man na nato pag-compute, attorney? mag-share of surviving spouse ko or exclusive ang entire property akong gamiton? Ang entire property because that is an exclusive property of yours. Dili siya community, di siya mo form part sa community of property. Property for personal and exclusive use. Fail na siya. Except jewelry. Jewelry kaya pwede man na mapasa-pasa between spouses, di ba? Kanang brief, di man na mo pwede mapasa sa imong asawa. Kanang panty nimo, di man na mo mapasa sa imong bana. So, exclusive property na nimo. Property acquired before marriage who has a legitimate descendants by former marriage. So, if kaduha namin nyo, katong properties acquired during the first marriage, exclusive na siya. Then, properties acquired using the exclusive fund or in exchange of the exclusive property. Ang bantayanan na to, when we speak of the absolute community of property, tanahan sa na to ha, na-introduce the absolute community of property upon the effectivity of the family code. Kano sa man it took effect ang family code? 8388, August 3, 1988. Before, ang default property regime is the conjugal partnership of gain. But upon implementation of the family code, the default regime is the absolute community of property. So, unsa may na sa absolute community of property? All properties acquired before and during marriage shall form part of the community of property. If na kay napalit yuta before tagikasal, share ta na. So, share na kay share na as your spouse. If na tay na acquire nga property after our marriage, share gyapon ta na. All properties before and during the marriage, share ta na. Except for these enumerations. If na-acquire nimo by donation, if na-acquire nimo by estate tax, if personal use na nimo, if na-acquire na nimo sa imong previous marriage to which na kay mga anak, or if na-acquire na nimo by use of your exclusive fund, exclusive yun na siya. So the general rule, community of property. Exemption na ni si exclusive property. Ngano ganing gi-emphasize ni nako? Because if community of property na siya, naatay i-deduct, natay share of surviving spouse. Klaro? Klaro. And then, conjugal partnership, so prior to 8388, prior to August 3, 1988. Naaray conjugal partnership of gains if na-acquire after marriage. If wala na siya ma-acquire during marriage, meaning na-acquire prior pag yun, exclusive property na siya. So, unsa man ang mga exclusive property under the conjugal partnership of gains? Brought to the marriage as his or her own. Acquired during the marriage through gratuitous transfer, katong donation or estate, and then acquired by right of redemption or by exchange with other property belonging to only one of the spouse, meaning na-acquire nimo by use of your exclusive fund. Exclusive na siya. So, purchase with the exclusive money of either spouse. So, exclusive na siya. So, sa conjugal partnership of gain before family code, there is only conjugal partnership of property if acquired during marriage. If acquired during marriage, na ay share of surviving spouse if namatay ang usa. But if dili gay siya mo form part sa conjugal partnership of gains, exclusive siya, wala tay i-deduct nga share of surviving spouse. Unlike sa aning absolute community of property, nga properties acquired before, properties acquired during the marriage, naagi na natay share of surviving spouse. Klaro. So exemptions under reciprocity clause, di na mo gawas. Okay. Ano na yung gingon? Deductions from gross estate. So if mo ingon tag deductions from gross estate, initially, it forms part sa atong gross estate, properties, rights, and obligations existing at the time of death. But later on, sa atong pag-prepare sa computation, naatay mga deductions. For example, I have this actual scenario. Ilang property somewhere in Santo Niño Village? 5 million. Pag-compute na ako, reissuance man kapila na na-process ba na wala nila ma-transfer karon nigi-apply na sa nila. Sa pag-compute na ako, naninigawas na bayranan. So niingon ta akong taxpayer, attorney, nakaara ba ni siya nakakulateral ba ni nga property? Pila may value ato, sir? So, naara sa title. So pagtanaw na ko sa titulo, naamag yun ay 4 million kapin. So 5 million nga gross estate minus sa utang at the time of death, deduction man na siya from gross estate, ang nigawas, what sila bayranan. Kaya nag-claim pa man kong standard deduction. Napa man ko'y 1 million nga standard deduction. So mo na siya. So if mo form part siya sa gross estate, and then later on, it so happen nga, naada na siya existing obligation, i-deduct na nato. So if ang balay nimo nga worth 5 million, gi-collateral nimo sa bangko for a loan amounting to 4 million, i-deduct na tong 4 million because that is your obligation attached to your gross estate. That is deductions from gross estate. Si exemption, wa gid siya labot. Walay ownership on your end, walay control on your end, walay possession on your end. Therefore, dili siya mo form part sa tong gross estate. Deduction, earlier included but later on deducted. Mana siya deductions from gross estate. So items which the law on estate tax allows to be subtracted from the value of the gross estate in order to arrive at the net taxable estate. This is to protect the interest of innocent third persons who have claims over the properties. So ang atong example na katong utang, kinsa man ang innocent third party, it is the bangko. Kinsa may gukdon sa bangko? Imo ba na siya gi-collateral ha? Imo ba na siya gikuan as security? And then karon nga namatay ka, idiretso nimo transfer sa imong mga anak, asa mo kugukod? So ato siya i-deduct from your gross estate. That is to protect the interest of innocent third person. So these enumerations prior to train law, meaning if namatay December 31, 2017, paatras. Can it took effect si train law January 1, 2018 man. December 31, 2017, paatras. Natay i-claim nga funeral expense. Maximum of 200,000. Of course, ug mamatay, naman gud magasto St. Peter, Ilubong, magpa-snacks pamanta, magpapangadji pamanta. So na gud magasto nga funeral expense. I-deduct po din na nato sa tong gross estate. So kung ang namatay na ay 5 million in cash, usa sa atong i-deduct is ang funeral expense. Up to 200,000 pesos. But again, this only applies if namatay prior to train law. December 31, 2017 paatras. So, funeral expense. But after train law, wala na tayo funeral expense. So may question mo, attorney, inana ka savage ang ato ang Congress nga di na sila mo allow og funeral expense unsa din na inigkamatay lubong diretso. Sige lang ato i-discuss. Nganong wala na may funeral expense starting January 1, 2018. Okay? And then judicial expenses. Kana maglitig di ba naman ikayan? Inigkamatay sa ginikanan, mag-away-away ang mga igsoon unsaon pagbahin sa property. Because the general rule judicial biya na ang pagseto sa property, di ba? Sa mga salida na ay last will and testament, ang namatay kiningon nga ihatag niya nga property to this person, ang kaning property ihatag niya to this person. That is the last will and testament. Pero if di magasinabot, na atay mga judicial determination on how to distribute this property. Pero pwede po nga mag-extrajudicial settlement, magsabot-sabot ra ang mga heredero. Magsabot-sabot ra na sila. Okay, process na itong estate ni mama ug ni papa. And then, atong bahiyonan later on. So, now maganda magasto, judicial expenses, magpanotaryo, refer tag-abogado, mudool na sila nato. So, na siya mga expenses. So, i-deduct po na nato siya. So, mano siya ang ato ang ordinary deduction. Casualty losses, example, ang property kay nasunog. Then, pagkasunog sa property, na-appeal po ang tag-iya. So ang gross estate, ma-form part to ang iyang balay. Pero casualty loss man na siya. Nasunog naman na. So i-deduct to nimo og pila pud to ang nasunog. So i-ordinary deduction na nato from gross estate si casualty loss. Example, namatay siya sa iyang sakyanan kay naanod pagbagyong Tino. So although mo form part sa iyang gross estate ang sakyanan, but it is a casualty loss. So i-deduct na to pila ang loss corresponding to that incident. Okay? And then, if naa siya negosyo, dili na nato pwede kaduhaon og deduct ha. Gideduct na to siya sa negosyo, at the same time, gideduct na to sa estate. One time lang ang atong pagdeduct. Mili lang ka. Ari ba siya sa estate? Ari ba siya sa business i-deduct? So, one time lang na siya. Then, for it to be deductible, it must not be compensated by insurance or any settlement. Then not claim as deduction from gross income katong nasa business. Mamili ra ka. I-deduct ba na nimo siya nga casualty loss nga to sa business or sa atong estate? And if sa estate, na ba na siya insurance or wala? Kaya if na siya insurance, in effect, ma-offset raman. na kay receivable from insurance, at the same time na kay casualty loss, i-offset ra wala effect. Pero if wala siya if dili siya covered sa insurance, asa man ani mo siya ihapak ang imong loss, so i-deduct na nato siya from our gross estate. Ani, claims against insolvent person, di ba? As I have discussed earlier, including that have accrued thereto. If nakay dawatunon, i-appeal na nato. 5 million ang imong dawatunon gikan sa imong igsuon kay nangutang siya nagpatukod og balay. At the time of death, di pa man na siya cash, receivable pa man na siya. Pero ang imong igsuon nag-file pud og bankruptcy proceedings. Wa na gid kay madawat. Or ni kuan siya, ni adto siya laing country wa na nagpakita, di na mo gid na nato ma-claim. Although mo form part siya sa imong property and rights and obligations at the time of death, pero wa naman kay madawat because di naman makitaan or na bankrupt naman. So unfair kayo nga didakan i-subject ka to estate tax sa 5 million for your receivable, then dili na to madidak sa atuang kon deductions from gross estate. So if it is a claim against insolvent person, i-deduct na nato sa atuang gross estate. But when we speak of deduction ha, dapat earlier na ana na siya sa atuang gross estate. Nana na sa tong gross estate. Later on, gididak na to. Nganong gididak man na to? Because that is a receivable from an insolvent person. Okay? So requisites, claims against insolvent person. The amount of said claims has been initially included as part of the gross estate. The incapacity of the debtor to pay his debt is proven, not merely alleged. So na-establish na, bankrupt na, or nilarga na, wala nagpakita. So, pwede na nato siya i-deduct. And then, unpaid mortgages against the estate, katong giutang niya, giloan niya, gikolateral na niya nga property. So, ang value sa balay, i-appeal na to. And then, i-deduct na to later on ang value sa iyang utang at the time of death. So, requisites must be a personal obligation existing at the time of death, contracted in good faith, the claim is valid and enforceable in court, and the indebtedness has not been condoned by the creditor or the action to collect has not prescribed. Trust lagi. Para na siya, di man malikayan ang atong property, atong house and lot, atong collateral, mag-loan ta sa bangko, simbako namatay ta, gross estate, value gid sa property at the time of death, di ba? Valuation, zonal or market value per assessor. Pero naman tayo utang, unpaid mortgage man na, i-deduct na to na siya. Because it would be unfair if i-tax ti ka sa 5 million nga worth sa imong property, when in fact, if atong tanawon, napabya kay utang worth 4 million. So if i-tax man gani ko, not on the entirety of the 5 million, but on the net amount after taking into account the unpaid mortgages and taxes. Other deductions, manang gitawag na to nga special deductions. Medical expense, namatay sa cancer, namatay sa pneumonia, mugasto ba kita. So prior to train loan, na atay i-deduct nga up to 500,000. So same sa funeral expense na atay deduct up to 200,000. That's prior to train law. But if namatay after the effectivity of the train law, meaning January 1, 2018 and onwards, wa na tay medical expense, wa na tay funeral expense. Attorney, unfair kayo. Nakagasto mi sa hospital, nakagasto mi sa St. Peter, nakagasto mi sa Golden Haven, nganong wa man may deduction? The very reason of it, nganong wa na si funeral expense, nganong wa na si medical expense, is because of the standard deduction. Kung saan yung standard deduction? Ang naa-diri sa standard deduction, prior to train law, makaklaim ka og deduction without substantiation, without any traces. 1 million diretso. Automatic prior to train law. Na naging kay funeral expense 200,000, naa kay medical expense 500,000, naa pagid kay i-deduct nga standard deduction 1 million automatic. Di na may mangutana para asa man ang 1 million. Dili na. Automatic na deduction na siya. So if ang value sa imong estate if ang value sa imong estate kay 2 million, naa tay funeral expense 200,000, pila na nabilin? 1.8 million. Naapag tayo medical expense up to 500,000. So pila na lang nabilin? 1.3 million. Naatay standard deduction. 1 million, di namin mga tanong para asa. So pila na lang nabilin, nga bayranan, ang na-taxable estate, o 300,000 na lang. Because ang total nga na-deduct, maximum, 200 sa funeral expense, 500 sa medical, and then 1 million standard deduction regardless. So 1.7. So 2 million gross estate minus the deductions of 1.7. Pila man taxable estate? 300,000 na lang. That's prior to train law. But after the effectivity of the train law, wala na funeral, wala na ng medical. Asa man ta bawi? Bawi ta sa standard deduction. Pila man tayo, attorney? Ang standard deduction after the effectivity of the train law, 5 million pesos. Pila ito yung value sa tong gross estate? 2 million. And then, wala may funeral, wala may medical. Bawi ta sa standard. 2 million minus 5 million standard deduction. Negative 3 million. Oh, bayad pa rin kag buhisan na. Negative 3 million ay mo ang taxable estate. So, dili savage di ay ang ato ang Congress sa pag-levy nila aning train law. Because they increase the standard deduction from 1 million to 5 million pesos. Dili na kay hassle man to sa una. Mag-attach pag resibo sa St. Peter, attach pa tag resibo sa Careta, attach pa tag resibo sa Chongwa, hassle. Daghan kay mga pang-attach. Nahago na gina sila pag atiman sa patay karon pangayuan pa ni mga resibo. Sa buhaton, one ana sila but increase the standard deduction up to 5 million. Also, anong ipatasan man ang standard deduction nga 5 million? Because nagkataas man sad ang value sa property. Di ba? Every year, na-increase sa value sa property, mo appreciate ba na ang house and lot. So to cover the increase in the value of the property, gipadak-an po ang standard deduction. If namatay sa prior to train law, ang value sa property kay 1 million ra, pagkamatay niya pag 2025, ang value sa property, 5 million naman. Aw, 5 million mo po datong standard deduction. In effect, 5 million gross estate minus 5 million standard deduction, regardless, bahala may resibo, aw, 5 minus 5, 0. Pa, kay bayaran sa imong estate tax. Unsa pa may laing deduction na to? Daghan kitag deduction ay kabala pa. Wa lagi na mabayaran ang atong mga kliyente. Family home. Nganong i-tax man na nato? Although there is a distribution of wealth, it would be unfair on the part of the heirs to be taxed sa balay kung asa sila nagpuyo. So family home refers to the dwelling house, including the land on which it is situated, where the husband and wife or a head of the family, dili necessary nga na kay mga anak, pwede nga ikay head of the family. Inig-process nila sa mga estate, i-deduct na ang family home because dili man na siya in essence distribution of wealth. That is to protect nga naa sila mapuyan after sa mong death. So i-deduct na to ang value sa mong family home. So and members of their family reside as certified by the barangay captain. Sa una, before the train law, 1 million ra ang family home. Upon effectivity of the train law, up to 10 million. Imagine ha, value sa mong house and lot, 5 million. Namatay ka karong adlaw. Family home, maximum of 10 million. Maximum lang. Ari rata sa value sa imong family home, 5 million. So 5 minus 5, 0. Napagid kay standard deduction. Pila gyatong standard deduction? As of 2018, 5 million man po. So 0 minus 5, negative 5 million. Kabayad pang BIR nimo. Di ba? So mana siya. So another deduction na to is the family home. And then administrative compliance. Yan na siya. Namgod ta existing RMO nga sa una man good, if tanaw na to si train law, and before sa ease of paying taxes, naman sa gitawag nga ease of paying taxes in line with the ease of doing business. If si train law lang atong basihan, niingon nga to, that the estate tax shall be processed in the district office where the decedent resides. So if namatay siya somewhere in Northern Cebu, i-process siya sa RDO Mandaue. If namatay siya somewhere in Southern Cebu, i-process siya sa BIR Talisay. That's under the train law, based on the residence of the decedent. But pursuant to the ease of paying taxes, naanangad to. I-process siya og asa ganahan ang executor or administrator ganahan i-process ang estate. So if ganahan siya nga i-process sa Cebu City, even if namatay sa Mualboal, may problema. That is under the ease of paying taxes, in line with the ease of doing business. So regardless na, not unless if ang dissident na ay business, di man matransfer yung tax identification number, agto ram gyud na. So agto na to i-process po yung estate o asa po na register ang iyang business. Because ang iyang business mo form part man sa iyang gross estate. But as a general rule, if wala lay negosyo, i-process na tong estate og asa ganahan ang executor og asa ganahan ang administrator i-process ang estate. Wala na to og asa ang resident sa dissident. Klaro? Klaro. That is effective 2024. But if prior to 2024, we comply with the train law, residents at the time of death. Okay? Administrative requirements. Before train law, kailangan daw ta og notice of death up 2 months from the time of death. Otherwise, magka-penalty ta. Pero after the train law, anong i-inform pa man minimo? Na-inform naman yung mga local civil registrar. So wala na ang notice of death. Filing of estate tax. Prior to train law, 6 months. After the train law, 1 year ang atong pag-process sa estate. And then payment of estate, still 6 months from the date of death. If before train law, 1 year upon effectivity sa train law. So kuan mo gud ang atong system sa BIR. File and pay. Hinumdum mo na, register, file and pay. So magkuyog yun na si filing and sa payment. So after the train law, 1 year to file and 1 year to pay. Estate tax rate, magdepende siya, scheduler, 5 to 20%. But if namatay after the train law, across the board, gross estate minus the deductions. Unsa ito itong mga deductions? Standard deduction, family home, share of surviving spouse, o unsay mahibilin. Flat rate, 6%. Familiar ba si 6%? Kainong mo sa itong capital gains tax rate, sale of property, whichever is highest between the selling price, zonal value, and market value. So, across the board na parehas na any transfer of property by virtue of debt, by virtue of donation, by virtue of sale, 6% na ang ato ang rate. Okay? And then, CPA certification, prior to train law, if mula pa sa 2 million, kailangan CPA certified. Dere, under train law, if mula pa sa 5 million, CPA certified. So, extension, if judicially settled, katong mga last will and testament, pwede siya ma-extend ang payment up to 5 years. Pero if extrajudicially settled ang property, ang estate sa decedent, up to 2 years. Pero, it requires a letter request to be approved by the head of office. Okay, so mora to siya for estate tax. So in a separate video, we will be discussing donors taxation. So that's it for the meantime, and amping mo kanunay. Thank you.